We spend 1/3 of our lives asleep. In that sleep, our bodies rest, but our minds come alive, and we dream. Your dreams have been keeping a journal of your life longer than you have. They are a running record of your deepest fears, your forgotten memories, and your secret longings. They may seem random. They may seem meaningless, but they are your story, told through symbols. It's your personal myth, written just for you. From the moment we're born to the moment we pass, our dreams evolve with us. Psychologist Erik Erikson outlined how our lives unfold in stages, with each marked by a unique psychological challenge. Each of these 8 stages is unique in its own way. How we handle what happens in each stage of life dictates how prepared we will be for the next stage of life. If we look closely, we see that our dreams change as these stages do. They mirror the battles we face before we even know we're fighting them. I've been journaling my dreams for over half my life. When I go back to these old journals, it feels like reading a surreal autobiography. It's like the future version of myself was sending me messages, communicating through different eras of life. The most common dreams in each of these 8 stages of life are mind-blowing. Some are strange, and some are terrifying, but all of them are trying to tell us something. This is the story of your life, told by the part of you that never sleeps. These are the dreams we dream through life. Erikson Stage 1. Trust versus Mistrust. Erikson's first stage is the foundational period of emotional development. Infants are completely dependent on caregivers for food, comfort, and safety. The key psychosocial task is learning whether the world is a safe and trustworthy place. If caregivers consistently meet the infant's needs, the child develops a basic sense of trust. However, if care is erratic, neglectful, or frightening, the child may develop mistrust toward the world and people in it. We may wonder if infants even dream at this age. I have no idea how psychologists observe this, but apparently infants do dream. However, it's not in the narrative, symbolic way that we dream. Their dreams are sensory, emotional, and pre-verbal. These early dreams understandably reflect bodily sensations, emotional responses, and emerging attachments to caregivers. The brain is rapidly developing and forming connections based on emotional experiences. Dreams serve as the processing space for the sensation of being held or abandoned, the rhythm of a mother's voice or heartbeat, and the discomfort of hunger or the relief of feeding. Common dreams at this stage are as follows. Floating in warmth. The baby dreams of floating in a soft, warm space like a womb or a warm bath. This could be a symbolic safe feeling tied to being fed or cuddled. The baby's brain is reinforcing the emotional memory of security. Falling. A startle response type dream where the baby suddenly feels like they're falling or being dropped. This may be tied to real sensory disruptions, like being moved or startled awake, or emotional anxieties about separation from a caregiver. It's fascinating how this is something that happens in our sleep a lot longer throughout life. There is something deeply long-lasting in this phenomenon. Screaming without sound. A sensation of distress without the ability to communicate or be heard. This reflects the early frustration of pre-verbal infants not being able to express their needs, or anxieties about needs not being met. Bright faces. Vague dream imagery involving the caregiver's face, light and dark contrast, or eyes. Infants are wired to fixate on faces. Dreams may help solidify these important visual memories and social connections. There's this theory that humans have pattern recognition for seeing faces in things, because when they were born, one of the first things they saw was their mother's face. There is a surprisingly high number of reports of people who have tried DMT and have had powerful experiences of encountering this woman goddess who feels like a motherly figure. I do wonder if this woman represents their earliest memory of seeing their own mother for the first time. All of these dreams that happen in infancy are deeply rooted in attachment. This stage is all about learning whether the world can be trusted. Humans are known to be born as being far more dependent compared to other animals when they are born, but the survival instinct still seems to present early on in humans, and it only continues developing. Erikson Stage 2. Autonomy versus Shame and Doubt. Toddlers are discovering their free will as they exercise walking, talking, choosing, and trying to assert control over their environment. When caregivers support exploration with patience and encouragement, the child develops a healthy sense of autonomy. But if caregivers are overly critical, controlling, or shaming, the child may internalize doubt and shame about their own desires or abilities. Toddler dreams begin to take early symbolic form. Language is still limited, but toddlers now have enough cognitive development to form rudimentary narratives. Common dreams at this stage are as follows. Getting lost. The child dreams of being left in a store, walking down a hallway and the parent disappears, or everyone gets in a car and drives off without them. This reflects separation anxiety, which is a huge issue at this age. The toddler is exploring but still connected to their caregiver. Losing that connection would cause panic. Toilets. Peeing in the wrong place, needing to go but can't find a toilet, being laughed at for having an accident. Potty training is one of the major autonomy milestones at this age. These dreams express the desire for control and the fear of failure or shame. Saying no or being told no. A toddler shouts no at a big scary animal, or the parent says no to the child touching something exciting. Toddlers are constantly learning the power of saying no, and the power of being told no. The word no can be scary no matter how old you get. Dreams may help process these power struggles. Being very big or very small. This can involve being a giant in a tiny room, or being so small they can't reach the doorknob. It symbolizes the internal tension between feeling powerful when they can do something themselves, and feeling helpless when the world is too big or overwhelming. Monsters. A monster in the closet, an entity that chases or talks, a big creature that won't listen. Monster dreams can be common. Fears get objectified into these non-human characters. Often, these monsters represent emotional forces the child can't yet name, such as frustration, fear of rejection, or anger. All of the dreams at this stage can often be unpleasant, yet they still represent a safe space to simulate success and failure, explore boundaries, and practice being separate from caregivers. This is how the power of initiative develops. Erikson Stage 3. Initiative versus guilt. Early childhood is the age of pretend play. Young kids ask a ton of questions with their wildly expanding imaginations. Children now want to initiate activities, make plans, explore roles, and take on challenges. When caregivers encourage this exploratory behavior, children develop a sense of purpose. But if caregivers are harsh, dismissive, or controlling, children may feel guilty about their desires and impulses. They will feel as though their curiosity is wrong. My absolute earliest dreams I can remember are from this era. I remember I would always dream in the third person, never in the first person. I was watching myself in the dream. In early childhood, kids are still forming a cohesive sense of self. Young kids may struggle with distinguishing their own perspectives from others in waking life. Therefore, dreams become highly narrative and symbolic. Children now dream in mini stories with clear characters and settings. Common dreams at this stage are as follows: being a superhero, saving the day, flying, helping someone who is lost. These dreams reflect a child's desire to make an impact and to feel powerful. They may also be compensating for real-life feelings of powerlessness. Getting in trouble, taking cookies and being yelled at, breaking something precious, or running away. This age involves developing a conscience. Children begin to internalize adult roles, and dreams can express guilt, fear of punishment, or a desire to test limits without real consequences. Becoming an animal or object, turning into a cat, being a talking tree, riding a cloud. These dreams reflect roleplay and identity experimentation. Kids at this age are trying on all kinds of symbolic identities. Dreams are like rehearsals for identity formation. Malevolent monsters. Monster dreams are still present at this age. However, these monsters now often symbolize not just fear and danger, but also internalized fears of wrongdoing. The monster can represent the fear of being bad. Sometimes the child will face or defeat the monster if they don't run away from it. How they interact with the monster will usually represent their feelings of courage or guilt. Being the caretaker, taking care of a doll, helping an animal, or being the teacher. Kids are beginning to understand social roles and may mimic adult behavior in dreams. This is also a way of testing their power in nurturing and organizing others. I personally can't remember ever having a dream like this where I was in a nurturing position, but the symbolism might just manifest differently between boys and girls. All of the dreams at this stage are reflective of the golden age of imagination. Young children want to engage with their surroundings, but they worry if they're wrong or if they'll get in trouble. They have an early desire for a sense of independence because they'll need it through future stages of childhood. Erikson's Stage 4, Industry versus Inferiority. Now we get to the elementary school era. Kids become producers rather than just explorers. They begin to compare themselves to others, take on tasks, develop skills, and seek approval through achievement. Supportive environments help children develop industry, which is a sense of competence and pride in their abilities. However, repeated failure, criticism, or neglect can lead to feelings of inferiority and self-doubt. Children now have fully formed symbolic dreams that reflect their place in a social world. Their cognitive and emotional development expands, and so does their ability to dream in sequences. Common dreams at this stage are as follows: performances, forgetting lines in a play, failing a test, being unprepared for a spelling bee. School performance is a central part of this stage. These dreams reflect anxiety about competence, pressure to succeed, or fear of embarrassment. Being judged, forgetting to wear clothes, being laughed at for falling, or saying the wrong answer out loud. This age comes with increasing self-consciousness. Kids are very sensitive to peer approval and social ranking. These dreams express a fear of public humiliation. Accomplishments, scoring the winning goal, building something amazing, being praised by a teacher or coach. These are often wish fulfillment dreams that reflect a child's deep desire to feel capable, skilled, and admired. They reinforce confidence. Rejections. Everyone gets invited to a birthday party except them, being picked last for a team, or being invisible in a group. Friendships and belonging become crucial at this age. These dreams reveal anxiety about fitting in or being left out. Strong moral themes. Saving someone in danger, making the right choice in a crisis, standing up to a bully. As moral reasoning develops, dreams can feature ethical dilemmas, symbolize justice, or self-sacrifice. Kids begin to dream about what it truly means to be a good person. All of the dreams at this stage now work as emotional laboratories for working through processing the hunger for belonging. That hunger amplifies with each passing year. Erikson's Stage 5, Identity versus Role Confusion. This is where things get dark. Dreams become emotionally turbulent. I took a lot of L's during this stage. This is the era of becoming. Adolescents are testing values, beliefs, identities, and social roles. They experiment with personas, challenge authority, seek intimacy, and always feel deeply misunderstood. Supportive environments can help form a coherent identity. Without that, teens risk role confusion. Common dreams at this stage are as follows: not recognizing yourself, looking in a mirror and seeing someone else, speaking but not in your own voice, swapping identities mid-dream. These are classic metaphors for identity exploration. Teens may feel like they're changing too fast or don't know who they are. Romance. Kissing someone unexpected, having a crush reciprocate, or experiencing tension with confusing emotional tones. This is an age of emotional vulnerability and the yearning to be seen and chosen. These dreams are part desire, part anxiety, and part rehearsal. Being judged, walking through the hallway without clothes, being filmed without knowing, or everyone laughing at you. This reflects intense self-consciousness. These dreams happen in the former stage of life as well, but now they get amplified. Adolescents feel like they're under constant observation. This is sometimes called the imaginary audience effect. With the progression of technology, these kind of dreams get amplified. Apocalypse, the world ending, reality breaking apart, time loops, cities underwater. Adolescents often feel like the world is in crisis, whether it be their world or the objective world. Having been in this stage during the 2012 End Times fiasco, this one hits. These dreams express existential anxiety and the chaos of shifting identity structures. Death and rebirth, dying and waking up as someone else, watching a friend disappear, falling into darkness and re-emerging. These represent psychological transitions. In essence, this is the death of childhood identities and the birth of new ones. They can either be terrifying or enlightening. Being exposed, pretending to be someone and getting caught, wearing a mask that falls off, friends turning against you. This symbolizes imposter syndrome and the fear of rejection. Teens often struggle with masking to fit in and dream about being exposed as not real or cool enough. Dreams about high school will actually keep happening with people throughout their entire life. High school's blend of structure, social intensity, and emotional weight makes it a perfect template for processing adult life's complexities. It's not about school itself, but more about what it represents, a testing ground for identity and societal navigation. At my current age, when work is stressing me out, I have dreams where I'm in math class and realize I forgot to do my homework. This initially made no sense because math was my best subject and I never even forgot to do my homework because I was super cool. However, because my full-time job requires a lot of math, the template of math class represents the feeling of having imposter syndrome. I'm still being tested in an environment heavy with the pressure of expectations. All of the dreams in this stage of your teenage years are about integration and using factors from your life to formulate something new. And that's just messy. But you have to just get through that living hell in order to prepare yourself for adulthood. Erikson Stage 6, Intimacy versus Isolation. And now, in the blink of an eye, you're all grown up. You thought you just had life completely figured out, and now you're learning you hardly even scratched the surface. This is the period when people begin seriously forming deep, committed relationships. Romantic relationships are the big one manifested in dreams, but these relationships can also be platonic or communal. Can you merge your identity with someone else's identity without losing yourself? Building and fostering relationships are a lot different in adulthood than they were in your teenage years. Dreams become emotionally interpersonal, and adults start dreaming about more than just themselves. They dream about who they are with. There's a tension between desire for closeness and fear of losing independence. Common dreams at this stage are as follows: a past lover, running into an ex, rekindling something, or reliving a breakup. These dreams are terrible. But if you have dreams like this, don't worry. They aren't exactly about the person. They're about unfinished emotional business, or parts of yourself you associate with a past chapter. These dreams often happen when you're starting something new or feel emotionally uncertain. Being ghosted, a partner walking away without explanation, not showing up to the wedding, or vanishing mid-sentence. These dreams expose attachment wounds or fears of abandonment. They're common in people wrestling with commitment, whether from their own hesitation or trauma from past relationships. Naughty stuff. Sleeping with someone forbidden or symbolic and waking up with a strong positive or negative emotional reaction. These are less about physical desire and more about emotional connection. The person may symbolize a need for emotional intimacy or reconciliation. In the earlier stages of marriage, these dreams can involve infidelity, where either you or your spouse is cheating. Since marriage is usually something newer, this is the subconscious trying to make sense of the worst-case scenario fears of things not working out. Being understood. Someone finishing your sentence, looking into your eyes and knowing you, or merging in surreal, symbolic ways. This represents the deep yearning for mutual recognition. Early adults want to be truly known and accepted by another person. These can be profoundly comforting or tragic, depending on the tone. Losing yourself in a relationship, literally disappearing, being absorbed into someone else, forgetting your name, or being unable to speak. This reflects anxiety about codependency or loss of autonomy. These often surface in relationships where personal identity feels threatened or sacrificed. Emotional distance. Lying next to someone but unable to speak, looking into someone's eyes but feeling nothing, or seeing a wall slowly rise between you. These dreams signal emotional isolation or a fear of intimacy slipping away. Sometimes they foreshadow relationship changes the waking mind has not acknowledged yet. Many of the dreams at this stage revolve around the theme of connection. Even people in committed relationships can have dreams of isolation. Just because you're with someone doesn't always mean you're feeling connected. While dreams about relationships are big in this stage of life, there are additional themes that show up in adulthood that also navigate uncertainty and identity. Additional themes are as follows. Being chased. You're running fast, but you don't know what's behind you. You just know that if it catches you, something changes. You might escape or wake up just before getting caught. These dreams reflect the existential anxiety that often emerges in early adulthood, the pressure to figure it out and not waste time. The unknown pursuer is often the weight of expectations. Your childhood home. You walk into your childhood house, but some things might be different, or it's crumbling, abandoned, or filled with unfamiliar furniture. As you develop your adult identity, there's often a subconscious revisiting of your foundations. You decide what to keep in the past and what to bring into the future. You are rebuilding the blueprint of who you are. The childhood home is your inner world, and it's under renovation. Getting lost. You're in a massive airport, hotel, or downtown area. You cannot find your room, your phone, or the right door. Everyone else seems to know where they're going. This reflects the overwhelming nature of adulthood, navigating confusing career paths, systems, and social roles. You may look confident by day, but your dreams know you're still searching for your place. Physical disfigurement. This is where we see that common dream about teeth falling out. You look in a mirror and don't recognize your face. Something's broken or wrong with your body. These dreams often emerge when self-image and confidence are under pressure. In young adulthood, we're constantly measuring how we're seen. Additionally, our bodies are not as strong as they once were. Flying and falling. You soar through the sky effortlessly. It's exhilarating, but suddenly, you lose control and you plummet. You wake up before you hit the ground. These dreams symbolize risk, ambition, and fear of failure. Many people in this stage are trying to build a future and worry it will all come crashing down. You've tasted freedom, but freedom also comes with gravity. So many dreams in early adulthood revolve around the theme of internally struggling to become who you're meant to be, while the world expects you to already be that person. This stage is more than just forming romantic relationships. It's about becoming seen, chosen, valued, and stable in the adult world. Erikson Stage 7. Generativity versus Stagnation. Welcome to your midlife crisis. What kind of motorcycle would you like? This stage is about legacy, productivity, and contribution. People seek meaning through parenting, mentoring, creative projects, or community involvement. When this drive is blocked, many feel stuck in stagnation, becoming cynical or withdrawn. Common dreams at this stage, specifically in the 40s, are as follows. Time slipping away, watching sand run through an hourglass, missing a train, trying to run but moving in slow motion. These dreams reflect anxiety about aging, regret, or losing momentum. Time becomes emotionally symbolic. You are thinking of death, but you're thinking more about wasted potential. Children. Forgetting to pick up your child, losing a baby, trying to protect a child from danger, giving birth to something strange. You may expect this theme to be more common in early adulthood when people are first having kids, but at this stage, people may generally collect a lot of memories in raising their kids, which is why children will show up in dreams. This represents concerns over legacy and nurturing. Even childless people may dream of children as a metaphor for ideas, projects, or communities they've helped shape, or failed to help shape. Return or repetition. Going back to your childhood home, reliving an old job, seeing a younger version of yourself. The subconscious is reviewing the past and comparing the dream of youth to the reality of midlife. These dreams can be mournful or redemptive. Productive flow, writing a novel in one night, building something grand, or tragically trying to create but being blocked or erased. This expresses a deep need to contribute meaningfully. Success dreams reflect pride and legacy. Blocked ones reflect fear of irrelevance. Losing control in the car. You're behind the wheel driving, and then the brakes stop working, or the steering fails. Being in a moving vehicle is symbolic. This period is often when people hit midlife reflection. Careers, relationships, and identities you thought were stable might begin to feel off. The dream mirrors fears of losing control over the life you've built, even if everything looks fine on the surface. Missing an event. You're late for a flight, a wedding, or an interview, and no matter what you do, you can't seem to get there in time. There's an increasing pressure to measure your life against timelines. Are you where you thought you'd be? This dream theme dives into the quiet panic that maybe you've missed some major opportunity or invisible deadline. Seeing someone from your past. An old friend or acquaintance appears, but they seem distant or confused about who you are. These dreams reflect the emotional distance from past versions of yourself. As priorities shift, the psyche checks in. Do the people who made me who I am still see me? And do I still see myself in them? As people grow out of the midlife crisis phase of their 40s and enter their 50s, the dreams can continue the midlife panic, but also start shifting into reflection. Common dreams in the 50s are as follows. House problems. You're walking through your familiar home and then the walls crumble, the roof caves in, or water pours from the ceilings. Houses often symbolize the self. In your 50s, many people start sensing physical aging, changing family dynamics, or shifting identity beyond parenting or work. This dream reflects anxiety over personal foundations no longer feeling as solid. Seeing yourself. You're watching yourself do something, but from outside your body. You may be doing something mundane or something meaningful. This observer dream often arises when people begin to think about their legacy, mortality, or the long arc of life. It's the mind's surreal way of stepping back and really reflecting. Physical decline. Hair turning gray, organs failing, or being trapped in a body that cannot move. Unlike dreams of teeth falling out, these dreams tend to involve things that are more likely to naturally happen to somebody's body. It reflects midlife concerns around vitality, aging, and health. These dreams are often symbolic of psychological stagnation or fear of not having enough time to change. Mentoring. Guiding a lost group, passing on wisdom, teaching a younger version of yourself. These dreams often appear when someone finds purpose in supporting the next generation or sharing insight. These dreams may also involve a younger person asking you for guidance and you not knowing what to say. Maybe your voice doesn't work or your words don't make any sense. When this happens, these dreams can reflect imposter syndrome around mentorship, or fear that you don't have as much to offer as you hoped. Erik Erikson coined the term generativity, which is the concern for establishing and guiding the next generation, often expressed through actions like raising children, mentoring, or contributing to society. Generativity is huge at stage 7 of development. All of the dreams at this stage ask the question, what have I done with my life? This can be a sad question, but it can also be a happy question. Your subconscious can feel that time is about to start moving faster than you'd ever imagined. Erikson Stage 8. Ego integrity versus despair. In this final stage of life, people reflect on everything that came before. They wonder less what they have done with their life, and they wonder more if their life was meaningful. Those who feel they've lived with purpose and authenticity develop ego integrity, which is a sense of wholeness. Those who unfortunately feel regret, bitterness, or that their life was wasted may fall into despair. Since I personally am still in stage 6, meaning I'm invincible, I find the dreams here at stage 8 to be notably fascinating. Common dreams at this stage are as follows. Deceased loved ones, conversations with a long-lost spouse, seeing a parent alive again, being embraced by a sibling who passed. These dreams often offer emotional resolution. The unconscious may be stitching closed relationships that still live in memory. Sometimes they represent the dreamer preparing to rejoin those who've passed. Journeys of crossing, walking down a long road, preparing to board a boat, crossing a bridge into fog. Symbolic representations of death or spiritual transition. While this may seem eerie, these dreams are rarely terrifying. It's more common that they are accepting, surreal, and deeply peaceful. Missing pieces, an unfinished house, a missing suitcase, a book with blank pages. This reflects unresolved goals or regrets. The psyche may be struggling to make sense of what wasn't accomplished and mourning the loss of possibility. Being young again, running as a child, seeing your younger self, attending school again. These dreams can be nostalgic, but sometimes they're bittersweet. They are a reflection on identity, who you were versus who you became. Letting go, releasing a bird, giving away possessions, floating upward, or saying goodbye. These dreams often mark acceptance. The dreamer is emotionally ready to let go. They are ready to let go of burdens, identities, or even life itself. Many at this age may say that life itself is just a long process of letting go. Reckoning, standing before a crowd, facing a judge, watching your life play out on a screen. This reflects the final internal audit. Watching one's life flash before their eyes is also a common theme that happens in the process of passing away. This is the unconscious weighing of the value of a life lived. These dreams can be uplifting or distressing, depending on the dreamer's peace with their past. All of the dreams at this stage become quieter and more spiritual. The symbolism is at its absolute heaviest at this stage because you've had a lot of experiences at this point. Dreams shift from solving problems to making peace with what has been. They become emotional closure rituals, helping the dreamer feel that their life mattered. In that life, they dreamed. In that life, their dreams were telling them something. Across every stage of development, from our first nightmares as children to the strange symbols of old age, dreams are speaking to us. They are about what's happening to us, but they're also about what's happening within us. Dreams are the mind's way of taking inventory and rebalancing. They take the things we ignore and bring them to the surface. They rehearse our fears. They let us visit people we miss, try on lives we never lived, or relive moments that still ache. But most of all, dreams remind us that we're not static. We are always in motion, through time and through transformation. Every dream, in its own language, is a system maintenance update of our survival instinct, and an echo of the same question: who are you becoming? No matter where we are in life, every night as we surrender to sleep, we return to the oldest story we know, our own. In dreams, we don't always play ourselves. Sometimes we're the child again, sometimes we're the villain, sometimes we're lost, or flying, or falling. But through it all, we are always becoming. What you dream says more about where you are in life than any resume, relationship status, or birthday ever could. Dreams are myths, but they don't always lie. They don't flatter. They don't care what you want to believe. They paint a picture of what you need to see. The next time you wake up gasping, laughing, crying, confused, or experiencing any emotion imaginable, don't just brush it off. Write it down. Sit with it. Decode it. You might just be watching your soul grow.